अवधूतं परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे गुरुवे गौरचंद्राय राधिकाय तदालय कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। ओम first Vaishnav bhajan. So the first Vaishnav bhajan we are going to see. The other day we sang this Vaishnav bhajan. I feel that we should chant this Vaishnav bhajan these 3 days, because when we chant this Vaishnav bhajan these 3 days, so we will be in the practice, right, Kamal?
यस प्रभु जी, यस यस।
तो ये क्या होगा कि 3 बार में हमें याद भी हो जाएगा, है ना?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल,
राइट और रॉन्ग?
यस यस प्रभु जी।
ओ हे वैष्णव ठाकुर दयार सागर ए दाशे करुणा करी। बोलो, हे वैष्णव ठाकुर दयार सागर ए दाशे करुणा करी। दियो पद छाया शोध है আমার তোমার চরণ ধরি। দিও পদ ছায়া শোধ হে আমার তোমার চরণ ধরি। ও क्षय बेग दोमी क्षय दोष शोधी क्षय गुणाधे हदासे। ओ क्षय बेग दमी क्षय दोष शोधी क्षय गुणाधे हदासे। क्षयो सतसंग देह हे আমার বসেছি সঙ্গের আছে। क्षय सतसंग देह हे আমার বসেছি সঙ্গের আছে। ও একাকী আমার नहीं पाया बल हरि नाम संकीर्तने। हो एकाकी আমার नहीं पाया बल हरि नाम संकीर्तने। তুমি कृपा करी श्रद्धा बिंदु दियो देह कृष्ण नाम धन। ओ তুমি कृपा करी श्रद्धा बिंदु दियो देह कृष्ण नाम धन। ओ कृष्णा से তোমার कृष्णा দিতে পাও তোমারো শক্তি আছে ও কৃষ্ণা সে তোমার কৃষ্ণা দিতে পারো তোমারো শক্তি ও আমি তো কঙ্গাল কৃষ্ণা কৃষ্ণা বলি তাই তব পাছে পাছে ও আমি তো কঙ্গাল কৃষ্ণা কৃষ্ণা বলি তাই তব পাছে পাছে ও হে বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর দয়ার সাগর हे दासे करुणा करी ओ हे वैष्णव ठाकुर दयार सागर हे दासे करुणा करी हे दासे करुणा करी हे दासे करुणा करी अभ्युत we don't have time. Unmute yourself, jaldi se read the meaning, translation. Abhyudya.
Hare Krishna Roshi, Dandat Pranam.
Dandat Pranam. Oh, Venerable Vaishnava.
Hare Krishna Roshi.
Start from here. Read.
Okay, Prabhu. O Venerable Vaishnava, O Ocean of Mercy, be merciful unto your servant. Give me the shade of your lotus feet and purify me. I hold on to your lotus feet.
Teach me to control.
Okay, Prabhu. Teach me to control my six pleasures, rectify my six faults, bestow upon me the six qualities, and offer to me the six kinds of holy association. I don't find strength to carry alone the Sankirtana, the holy name of Hari. Please bless me by giving me just one drop of faith with which to obtain a great pleasure of holy name of Krishna. Fourth, Krishna is yours. You have the power to give him to me. I am simply running behind you, shouting Krishna, Krishna.
ठीक है तो क्षय वेगधमी क्षय दोष शोधी क्षय गुणादे हृदासे क्षय सतसंगा ठीक है so ये these things are mentioned here ये नीचे मेंशन है सिक्स पैशंस ऑफ आर पर्टेनिंग टू वर्ड्स है ना बताया था ना तुम लोगों को इसके बारे में कभी डिटेल में डिस्कशन बाद में करेंगे ओके सो नाउ वी आर स्टॉप्ड इट नाउ हियर हाँ ओके सो नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू हाँ so we are going to start with the reading directly. Before that, anybody has any question from the previous class? If you heard it.
हरे कृष्णा
हरि बोल प्रभु जी हाँ जी
प्रभु जी वो सामीप्य मुक्ति और सालुक्य मुक्ति हो जो बताया था ना उसको एक बार दोबारा से थोड़ा बता दीजिए
वो तो तुमको मैं नोट्स भी मिल गए होंगे ना उसके
मैंने देखा नहीं हो तो मैं कुछ काम में बिजी तो मैं देख नहीं पाया चलिए ठीक है मैं देख लूंगा उसको कोई नहीं
नहीं मैं तुमको बता दूंगा दोबारा से
हाँ ठीक है
अभी तो डिस्कशन कर लेते हैं हाँ हरि बोल
Prabhuji, I have a doubt. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, it is mentioned that the the jiva, the individual soul, is always separate from the Lord. So, in that case, how Sarupya Mukti is possible? I mean, what do Lord mean by Sarupya Mukti and Sayujya Mukti? Sayujya is mixing within the potencies of the Lord itself. Sarupya is his own form. So Sayujya Mukti, how then, what will happen to the identity of the soul then? Jiva.
Do you remember reading the whole class, right? I mean reading the whole class.
No, I joined late, Prabhuji, yesterday. I mean last class.
The other day you joined late, huh?
Yeah.
Your question is what exactly happened to those who get into Sayujya Mukti, right?
Yeah.
So can you just write down this particular question into the parking lot and we'll discuss at the end of the class.
Sure, Prabhuji.
Yeah, so that we can have half an hour without any interruption, continuous reading. Right? Because अच्छा मैं एक और बात पूछना चाहता था. I was having a discussion with Anshu Babbar कि do you want me to give you the assignments to study and then you read and then we discuss, or you think that this
Yes.
line by line?
Yes,
Line by
Prabhuji,
line.
that will be better because we will have lots of questions and then we need people to clear it up.
The second way is reading the line the way line by line we are reading. So we are actually not missing out anything. And the question whenever you have, we can anyway start discuss. So you tell me which way is better. Come on, you want to say something?
Prabhu means
No, Prabhuji.
Abudya, what do you say?
yes, Prabhuji means that way is better. You can give assignments and then we can read and discuss in class. It is better.
But Anshu, what is your opinion on it?
Prabhuji, I think line by line, then we don't miss anything. Because we are discussing. Kabhi-kabhar, when we are reading, तो line by line discussions हो रही हैं. And if we have some question, we can, पता है क्या कर सकते हैं हम? We do line by line, and घर पे we can reread the same text. और अगर question है तो next class में पूछ सकते हैं. This is मतलब what I think.
Hemant, what is your opinion on that? Jaldi, we have 2 minutes to discuss that.
Same प्रभु, line by line. आपके साथ साथ हम reading भी करेंगे और आप हमें उसको
So what do you think? Jaldi बोल. Line by line. Line by line. Madhumita line by line. 5 people line by line. Shita, sorry yaar.
No problem, Prabhuji. In retrospect, I think line by line would be better because we procrastinate also.
ठीक है. Kamal, do you have anything to say?
लाइन बाय लाइन प्रोजी बेस्ट रहेगा.
क्या एक साल लगे पढ़ने में, but we will read everything in such a way you will not have to pick up this book again in life.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Okay, चलो. सामवेद भक्तवृंद की जय. नमः श्री चैतन्य मनोविष्टम स्थापितम येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदामह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अब हम एक श्लोक रोज गाया करेंगे, ठीक है? हमेशा गाएंगे. अन्या अभिलाषिता शून्यम अभिलाषिता ज्ञान कर्माणुनावृतम अनुकूलेन कृष्णानु शीलनं भक्तिरुत्तमा. Perfect. This particular so mute yourself, very important. But this is very important कि when we recite this particular prayer, we will always remember one thing कि the goal of our life is to get उत्तम भक्ति. अभी मेरे सामने एक भक्त बैठे हैं, सुनील प्रभु, बहुत ही टूटा हुआ दिल है उनका, क्योंकि उनको भगवद गीता के 5 श्लोक आते हैं, खाली कहते हैं 4 श्लोक नहीं आते. मैं दुनिया को प्रूव करके दिखाना चाहता हूँ कि मैं भी कुछ हूँ और मैं भगवद गीता के 108 श्लोक याद करूंगा. बोला 108 श्लोक करने के बाद क्या करोगे? तो उनके कोई आंसर नहीं था. फिर कहते हैं नहीं मैं राग मार्ग में जाना चाहता हूँ. बोले राग मार्ग में जाओगे? राग मार्ग कैसे जाओगे? कहते बस वैदिक भक्ति 1 साल करूंगा और 1 साल के बाद राग भक्ति शुरू करूंगा. तो मैं बोला नहीं, आज से राग भक्ति शुरू करो. Start from today. How will you start Raga Nuga Bhakti? By doing Vedic Bhakti with so much of intensity and with so much of sincerity that it becomes your habit to do that. Right? Like when I get out of my house, when I'm pressing a button for the lift, have you seen I'm always chanting some mantras? Right? When I'm in the lift, always chanting some mantras. When I start my gadi, I always chant some mantras. Right? There's never a time when I'm not chanting any mantra, or when sometimes I'm singing Hindi film songs also, but that's like, depends karta hai kya consciousness ho some. But mostly, I'm reciting the mantras, it becomes a habit, right? So that's how you become habitual to devotional practice. And that devotional practice is called Raga Nuga Bhakti. There's nothing called Vedic Bhakti in this world. I've given a very good explanation on how to offer a lamp. When you offer a lamp, what is the meaning of each and every article? Do you know that meaning? You don't know that meaning? You say that you are a very close associate of me. More than my wife, he stays with me, and he has never hurt me. Because he says that he is a senior devotee than me. That's why he doesn't listen to me. I one time said, I mean, in the video also I've made that point very clear. That when we are offering the incense, we are, doing a very practice. एक रॉबर्ट भी कर सकता है. रॉबर्ट ऐसे ऐसे करके 7 बार घुमाएगा, राइट? फिर रॉबर्ट को आप बोलो कि सेकंड टाइम लैंप उठाना है, 4 टाइम्स पैरों के ऊपर, 2 पैर कमर पे, 3 बार चेहरे पे और 7 बार ऊपर, राइट? रॉबर्ट कैन आल्सो डू, राइट? है ना? बहुत इजीली हो सकता है. But you are a human being. You can have a consciousness. So when you're offering an incense, you should think that, oh, I'm actually preparing a kunj for the Yugal Sarkar. For Pyari, Lalju and Priyaju, or for Shama Sham, or for Radhe Sham. I'm preparing a Nikunja with the incense. So that incense will purify the whole environment, And then you're offering a lamp to the Lord with the intention that, oh, Lord, accept this lamp. ये कोई घी वेक नहीं है. This is my burning heart. This is my burning emotions towards you. I'm feeling separation from you. Please engage me into your service. And that lamp represent that burning heart of yours. Then when you're crying, when your heart is burning, you cry, and the tears comes out of your eyes. Conchs represent the tears. And then when you're doing Arghya offering to the Lord, you're actually offering your tears to the Lord. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to look at the Govardhan Shila and used to cry. And then he used to bathe the Govardhan Shila with his tears. Right? And then when you're offering that kapda, you're actually wiping the Lord. Here, let me just remove all these things from the Lord. Right? And उसके बाद क्या होता है? Then we offer flowers to the Lord. What is flowers? What are the flowers? Mukund will say कि अगर तुम्हारे कुछ भी नहीं ना offer करने के लिए भगवान को, you don't even have any bhoga to offer to the Lord, you should still offer flowers to the Lord. Why? Because flowers represent बताया था. Can anybody tell? Fire. The flowers are the representation of what? Vilap Kusumanjali. Remember? My favorite book, my Pranadhan. I personally feel that my best book, if I want to die hearing that book. Vilapa Kusumanjali. And Kusum represent the prayers. The flowers are the best prayers. And then you're offering after offering those flowers to the Lord, you're offering the peacock feather to fan the Lord. And then you're offering the chamara or peacock feather, whatever. Sometimes people offer first time peacock feather, then chamar. Sometimes you offer chamar first and then peacock feather. It simply means that, may all the inauspiciousness go away. And please, Lord, accept my services and engage me into your service. So the same Vedi Bhakti became an act of Raganuga Bhakti. This is simple. By changing your consciousness, it's a game of consciousness. And somebody is hankering for Radha Ganuga Bhakti. मैं उस बाबा जी के पास जाता हूँ, उससे मुझे रागा गानुगा भक्ति मिलेगी. मैं उस बाबा जी के पास जाता हूँ, मुझे उससे राधा गानुगा भक्ति मिलेगी. And you're just roaming around here and there and not able to attain what you are supposed to attain. Krishna consciousness is all auspicious, right? So we studied last time कि जो भक्ति होती है उसके अंदर 6 चीजें होती हैं, right? Pure devotional service bring immediate relief from all kinds of material distress. Pure devotional service is the beginning of all auspiciousness. Pure devotional service automatically puts one in the transcendental pleasure. Pure devotional service is rarely achieved. Those in a pure devotional service deride even the conception of liberation. And pure devotional service is the only mean to attract Krishna. So relief from material distress, मतलब already we have discussed. भगवान कह रहे हैं कि my dear Uddhava, devotional service unto me is just like a blazing fire which can burn into ashes, unlimited fuel supplied to it. तो मतलब क्या हुआ कि फॉरेस्ट फायर को 2 जगह मैंने बताया था कंपेयर किया गया. एक जगह पे कंपेयर किया गया कि दुनिया जो है फॉरेस्ट फायर है और इसके अंदर हम सब लोग बर्न हो रहे हैं. हाँ, हे गॉड, हे गुरुदेव, प्लीज कम एंड शॉवर अस द रेन. जब बारिश होगी तो क्या होगा, हम लोग बच पाएंगे, हम लोग निकल पाएंगे इस आग से, राइट? और दूसरी तरफ भगवान कह रहे हैं डिवोशनल सर्विस इज अ ब्लेजिंग फायर, इट्स अ फॉरेस्ट फायर. what is that? Actually ये जो उद्धव को बोल रहे हैं इसे कहते हैं उद्धव गीता. हमने जो भगवत गीता पढ़ी है, that is like short version of Bhagavad Gita. The complete explanation of Gita is actually given in Uddhav Gita. Uddhav Gita is in the 11th canto. It's a very important thing. We will also read specifically 11th canto after we are done with this. Okay? So Krishna consciousness is all auspiciousness. Okay? So second thing. So who is going to start first? So first let me start now. Sri Arup Goswami has given definition of auspiciousness. You also log in from your phone so that at least you can also read, you know. So he says that actual auspiciousness means welfare activities for all the people of the world. At the present moment, group of people are engaged in welfare activities in terms of society, community, or nation. There is even an attempt in the form of the United Nations for World Health Activity. But due to the shortcoming of limited national activities such as general mass welfare program for the whole world is not practically possible. The Krishna consciousness movement, however, is so nice that it can render the highest benefit to the entire human race. Everyone can be attracted by this movement and everyone can feel the result. Therefore, Rupa Goswami and other learned scholars agree that a broad propaganda program for the Krishna consciousness movement of the devotional service all over the world is the highest humanitarian welfare activity. Anshu Babar, start. How the Krishna consciousness movement?
How the Krishna consciousness movement can attract the attention of the whole world, and how each and every man can feel the pleasure in this Krishna consciousness is stated in the Padma Puran as follows. A person who is engaged in the devotional service in full Krishna consciousness is to be understood to be doing the best service to the world, to the whole world, and to
Sorry.
going and to the
Sorry.
whole
Okay.
and to be pleasing everyone in the world. In addition to human society, he is pleasing even the trees and animals because they also become attracted by such a movement. A practical example of this was shown by Lord Chaitanya when he was traveling through the forest of Jarikanda in central India for spreading.
Jharkhand means Jharkhand.
Oh, okay. Jharkhand in central India for spreading his Sankirtan movement. The tigers, the elephants, the deers, and all other wild animals joined him and were participating in their own ways by dancing and chanting Hare Krishna. Furthermore, a person engaged in Krishna consciousness, acting in devotional service, can develop all good qualities that are generally found in the demigods. It is said by Sukadev Goswami in the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 18th chapter, verse 12. My dear king, persons who have unflinching faith in Krishna and are without any duplicity can develop all good qualities of the demigods. On account of devotee high grade of Krishna consciousness, even the demigods like to live with them, and therefore it can be understood that qualities of demigods have developed within his body. On the other hand, a person who is not Krishna conscious has no good qualities. He may be highly educated from the academic point of view, but in the actual field of his activities, he can be seen to be baser than animals. Even though a person is highly educated academically, if he cannot go beyond the sphere of mental activities, then he is sure to perform only material activities and thus remain impure. There are so many persons in the modern world who have been highly educated in materialistic universities, but it is seen that they cannot take up the movement of Krishna consciousness and develop the high qualities of demigods. For example, a Krishna conscious boy, even if he is not well educated from the university standards, can immediately give up illicit sex life, gambling, meat eating, and intoxication. Whereas those not in Krishna consciousness, although are very highly educated, are often drunkards, meat eaters, sex mongers, and gamblers.
Any doubt anybody has? Anyone has any doubt? Anshu Baba?
No, Prabhuji, I don't have thoughts.
Ashita Mataji, can you start? Shruti Mataji, sorry.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
One who is not in Krishna consciousness usually cannot sit silently even for half an hour. The yoga system teaches that if you become silent, you will realize that you are God. This system may be all right for materialistic persons, but how long will they be able to keep themselves silent artificially?
I give a very good example here. You are sitting in meditation and you are very quiet and very calm and very peaceful. And you're talking like this to also everybody. Hare Krishna Singh. Hi Anshu Babbar, how are you? You're being like that, huh? And then you're sitting in the car and immediately somebody comes and bang your car. Then your real self comes out. Huh? You know, and then all the peace of mind you have attained while you were sitting there in your meditation will go away immediately. You know, but in Krishna consciousness, we have often seen the devotees in all the situations, they are very peaceful and they are very calm. Right? That is called auspiciousness. You know, very good example given by Prabhupada here. Anyways, continue.
Artificially, they may sit down for so-called meditation, but immediately after their yogic performance, they will engage themselves again in such activities as illicit sex life, gambling, meat eating, and many other nonsensical things. But a Krishna conscious person gradually elevates himself without enduring for this so-called silent meditation. Simply because he is engaged in Krishna consciousness, he automatically gives up all this nonsense and develops a higher character. One develops the highest character by becoming a pure devotee of Krishna. The conclusion is that no one can truly have any good qualities if he is lacking Krishna consciousness.
You see, I often say this thing: be good, do good. Everybody says this thing: be good, do good, be good, do good, which is okay. But you know, my Guru Maharaj was giving a very good example the other day. He said कि आप लोग गए किसी एक ऐसी जगह पर जहाँ पे सारे लोग लेप्रोसी से ग्रसित थे. लेप्रोसी मीन्स कोढ़, लोगों को कोढ़ हो जाता है. So you went to that. अच्छा कोढ़ कब होता है पता है? You get leprosy when you have offended a Vaishnava. In again and again and again we've seen this leprosy is happening to the Vaishnavas, only and only those Vaishnavas who are actually criticizing the other Vaishnava. So you know, you know, body parts start getting melted and you know start falling apart. So this is called leprosy. So he said you went to some place where you know all the leprosy Maris were there, and you went there and you said, you have leprosy. I'm opening our hospital for you to cure you. So he said you have opened an ordinary hospital. And people, they went there and they started getting cured. And they were getting, you know, food also there. They were getting nice care also. This may increase your pure karma, your punya karma. But jitne bhi log, whoever is suffering from leprosy, is actually suffering from leprosy because of their previous karmas. So you are actually sharing their karmas. So don't worry, you were suffering from your previous karmas. You give away those karmas to me. I'll take them. And then you have to take birth again and again and again, and you will get that disease, leprosy. Second thing, whosoever has eaten unoffered food to the Lord, you will have to go through, for each and every chapati, you'll have to come back again. You have to live your whole life, and then you have to acquire that, you know, again and again and again and again. No philanthropic activity at all. Huh? मतलब एक एक रोटी के लिए तुमको दोबारा से you have to take birth, you know. So, or you know, you're sharing the karmas also of people. So that is the reason, if you have opened a leprosy hospital, but you're giving, you know, Krishna consciousness to those people, you know, environment is like they're hearing Hari Katha, kirtan, taking darshan of the deities and all, then that particular activity would not be considered the activity of any karmic activity. And then you will not have to take any karmas. So that's why it is very important for us to understand that Krishna consciousness is actually what? Nothing but the development of consciousness. Okay. Now happiness in Krishna consciousness. Shruti Mataji and Shweta Mataji. After the class, I want both of you to show me your face because I often get confused with Shruti Mataji and Shweta Mataji. Okay. Shweta Mataji, please you start.
Happiness in Krishna consciousness. Srila Rupa Goswami has analyzed the different sources of happiness. He has divided happiness into three categories, which are happiness derived from material enjoyment, happiness derived by identifying oneself with the Supreme Brahman, and happiness derived from Krishna consciousness.
So here is the question. Here's the things. Material enjoyment means the Karam Yoga. And Supreme Brahma means Dhyana Yoga. And happiness derived from Krishna consciousness is Bhakti Yoga. Actually, Prabhupada has mentioned three places here. But in Bhagavad Gita, this three is actually cut into four pieces. One is the Jnana Yoga, then Jnana Yoga, reading, then Dhyana Yoga, and then Bhakti Yoga. So Prabhupada has actually merged Dhyana Yoga and Jnana Yoga together to, identify oneself with the Supreme Brahman. Please continue.
In the Tantra Shastra, Lord Shiva speaks to his wife Sati in this way: "My dear wife, a person who has surrendered himself at the lotus feet of Govinda and who has thus developed pure Krishna consciousness can be very easily awarded all the perfections desired by the impersonalists. And beyond this, he can enjoy the happiness achieved by the pure devotees." Happiness derived from pure devotional service is the highest because it is eternal. The happiness derived from material perfection or understanding oneself to be Brahman is inferior because it is temporary. There is no preventing one's falling down from material happiness, and there is even every chance of falling down from the spiritual happiness derived by identifying oneself with the impersonal Brahman. It has been seen that great Mayavadi impersonalist sannyasis, very highly educated and almost realized souls, may sometimes take to political activities or to social welfare activities. The reason is that they actually do not derive any ultimate transcendental happiness in the impersonal understanding, and therefore must come down to the material platform and take to such mundane affairs. There are many instances, especially in India, where these Mayavadi sannyasis descend to the material platform again. But a person who is fully in Krishna consciousness will never return to any sort of material platform. However alluring and attracting they may be, he always knows that no material welfare activities can compare to the spiritual activity of Krishna consciousness. The mystic perfections achieved by...
I disagree with Prabhupada here. I disagree with little Prabhupada here क्योंकि ऐसे बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो भक्ति को छोड़ के मटेरियल लाइफ में वापस जाते हैं. बहुत सारे लोग हैं, but they cannot stay there for longer and they again come back. So it's like you're forgetting your constitutional position for a while. In the sense, जैसे ब्रज में क्या होता है कि when the Kaliya Nag is there and Krishna jumped into the river, and उससे पहले एक सेम कृष्णा जिसने अगासुर को मार दिया, हाँ, और धेनुकासुर को मार दिया, और कभी इस राक्षस को मार दिया, गोवर्धन पर्वत उठा लिया, मतलब लोगों को ऑलरेडी पता है कि he is the same Krishna, who has so much of power. But for some time when they are in illusion, they sleep. Like in the sense that their consciousness sleeps, and then everybody starts thinking, "Oh my God, my son has actually jumped into the river. Oh my God, Lala has jumped into the river. My friend has jumped into the river. My brother has jumped into the river." Like everybody is like, in that dilemma ki Krishna has jumped into the river and Kalyana are definitely going to kill him. And then immediately they come back to the consciousness when Krishna is coming out. So the same way what happened with us, same thing happened with us. How it happens? That we think that, oh yaar, come on. When I was drinking, when I was smoking, I had so many materialistic friends, and they were so good to me. Look at these devotees, they're so mean, They're like, all the time pushing me behind. They have, I have this problem with that, I have that problem with that. And when he leaves them and go back to his people, who are there, थोड़े time के बाद क्या होता है? He understand, oh my God, what have I done? And they come back to Krishna consciousness. Why? Why? Because that person is still in Krishna consciousness, even if he's smoking or if he's drinking. Because once you have tasted the Mahaprasad, and once you have said Hare Krishna to somebody, your bhakti has started that time. तो उसके बाद में ऊपर नीचे कितना मर्जी होता रहे. How many times doesn't matter you fall down, how many times you break 4 regularity principles, it doesn't matter. You again come back to the track. I have seen so many people. I have seen people who were sannyasis and left sannyas ashram. And then my Guru Gurudev went to them and they opened the door with a drink in their hand. Hey, come on, man. I've seen so many Hare Krishna get lost. And then my Gurudev said, please, come back. You have no idea what Srila Prabhupada has given you. And then, then they have accepted Krishna consciousness. And it's not that they had started drinking and, breaking 4 regularity principles. They again came back to Krishna consciousness. And they again took sannyas. And now they're still like, I know one Maharaj, he's still preaching since last 25 years. So, you see, it doesn't matter. Sometimes we fall down because of our karmas. Sometimes we fall down because of our previous deeds which we have committed. Our अपराध सबसे बड़ा अपराध है. भक्ति के अंदर अगर हमें enjoyment नहीं मिल रहा है, so that is because of our offenses. अब like I was sharing with Sunil Krishna Prabhu that भगवान कभी-कभी हमें सुख देते हैं ताकि हमारी भगवान पे डिपेंडेंसी बढ़ी रहे. कभी-कभी भगवान दुख देते हैं तो हमें लगता है यार भगवान कहाँ है, ताकि so that we can remember the Lord. कभी-कभी भगवान हमें अपने स्वरूप की कुछ ज्ञान दे देते हैं ताकि हमें पता चले कि हमें स्वरूप क्या होता है हमारा, and then we are hankering for it, right? तो ऐसे कर करके इधर से इधर करके भगवान हमारे ना लाइफ में कुछ ना कुछ मसाले डालते रहते हैं. कभी हरी मिर्च, कभी लाल मिर्च, कभी धनिया पाउडर, कभी गरम मसाला, कभी पाव भाजी मसाला, कभी चना मसाला, कभी छोले मसाला. और वो सब छोले मसाला, चना मसाला जो है धीरे धीरे करके हमारी लाइफ में क्या करते हैं, हमारी लाइफ को ऊपर नीचे करते रहते हैं. They go up and down, up and down, up and down, and slowly but surely we actually become the perfect sabzi which can be offered to the Lord, right? So all these ups and downs, left, right, center, slaps, and flowers, nice food, and sometimes बीवी ने खाना जलावा खिला दिया, whatever you're getting through, whatever you're going through, it's all because of the mercy of the Lord, and we have to see that Lord's hands in everything. Please, Mataji, continue. The mystic perfection.
The mystic perfections achieved by actually successful yogis are 8 in number. Anima Siddhi refers to the power by which one can become so small that he can enter into a stone. Modern scientific improvements also enable us to enter into stone because they provide for excavating so many subways, penetrating the hills, etc. So, Anima Siddhi, the mystic perfection of trying to enter into stone, has also been achieved by material science. Similarly, all of the Yoga Siddhis or perfections are material arts. For example, in one Yoga Siddhi, there is development of the power to become so light. There is development of the power to become so light that one can float in the air or on water. That is also being performed by modern scientists. They are flying in the air, they are floating on the surface of the water, and they are traveling under the water. After comparing all these mystic yoga siddhis to materialistic perfections, we find that the materialistic scientists strive for the same perfections. So actually, there is no difference between mystic perfection and materialistic perfection. A German scholar once said that the so-called yoga perfections had already been achieved by the modern scientists, and so he was not concerned with them. He intelligently went to India to learn how he could understand his eternal relationship with the Supreme Lord by means of Bhakti Yoga, devotional service. Of course, in the categories of mystic perfection, there are certain processes that the material scientists have not yet been able to develop. For instance, a mystic yogi can enter into the sun planet simply by using the rays of the sunshine. This perfection is called lagima. Similarly, a yogi can touch the moon with his finger. Though the modern astronauts go to the moon with the help of spaceships, they undergo many difficulties, whereas a person with mystic perfection can extend his hand and touch the moon with his finger. This siddhi is called prapti or acquisition. With this prapti siddhi, not only the perfect mystic yogi touch the moon planet, but he can extend his hand anywhere and take whatever he likes. He may be sitting thousands of miles away from a certain place, and if he likes, he can take fruit from a garden there. This is prapti siddhi. The modern scientists have manufactured nuclear weapons with which they can destroy an insignificant part of this planet. But by the yoga siddhi known as Ishita, one can create and destroy an entire planet simply at will. Another perfection is called Vasita, and by this perfection, one can bring anyone under his control. This is a kind of hypnotism that is almost irresistible.
Lagima, Prapti, all these kind of siddhis, no? The 8 are Anima, huh? And then Ishita, and then Vashita. All these kind of, siddhis you're seeing, people, we all are trying to understand it, We can see that, all the scientists and everybody, they're putting their own efforts to do it, which used to be nothing for our acharyas. Please continue. This is a kind of
hypnotism that is almost irresistible. Sometimes it is found that a yogi who may have attained a little perfection in this Vashita mystic power comes out among the people and speaks all sorts of nonsense, controls their minds, exploits them, takes their money, and then goes away. There is another mystic perfection which is known as prakamya or magic. By this prakamya power, one can achieve anything he likes. For example, one can make water enter into his eye and then again come out from within the eye. Simply by his will, he can perform such wonderful activities. The highest perfection of mystic power is called Kama Vasaita. This is also magic, but whereas the Prakamya power acts to create wonderful effects within the scope of nature, Kama Vasaita permits one to contradict nature. In other words, to do the impossible. Of course, one can derive great amounts of temporary happiness by achieving such yogic materialistic perfections. Foolishly, people who are enamored.
Now, Kamal, can you read?
Yes, Fuji.
Any doubt you have here till now?
No, not Fuji.
Foolishly.
Foolishly, people who are enamored of the glimmer of modern materialistic advancement are thinking that the Krishna consciousness movement is for less intelligent men. I am better off being busy with my material comforts, maintaining a nice apartment, family, and sex life. These people do not know that at any moment
I remember when I was becoming a devotee. When I was becoming a devotee, everybody was saying, "You have been escapist, you are being an escapist, you are being an escapist." मैं बोलता था यार पहले मुझे बड़ा बुरा लगता था कि मैं escapist कैसे हो गया यार मतलब मैं तो अपनी लाइफ जी रहा हूँ यार मैं जॉब कर रहा हूँ सब कुछ कर रहा हूँ but why how am I being an escapist? Like within 3 months I understood yes I was being an escapist. When you see there's a fire, you escape from there, right? So I saw that each and every friend of mine. I mean I should not be saying that I love them so much. They are materialistic, but I love them so much. We still hang out sometime together. Whenever they come to Vrindavan, they come to my house. Whenever I am either in Mumbai or in Bangalore, or if I'm in Gurgaon, if I'm in Delhi, they all invite me one by one to their places. And whenever we have a reunion, there's never a time when I'm not with them. So all my friends, I'm seeing that they are still not very stable, neither emotionally, nor mentally, nor professionally. So what I was doing, they were thinking that I was doing wrong. They're still trying to do what they were doing 15 years back. You know what I mean? 14, 15 years back, whatever they were doing, they're still doing the same thing. And they're still struggling, They have issues with their in their marriages. They have issues with their not being married. Some people are fed up because they are married. Some person is not having children. Blah 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 blah. You know. So I am better off being busy with the materialistic mindset. It's a very commonly seen thought among the non-devotees. आगे बढ़ो.
These people do not know that at any moment they can be kicked out of their material situation. Due to
Yeah.
ignorance, they do not know that real life is eternal. The temporary comforts of the body are not the goal of life, and it is due only to darkest ignorance that people become enamored of the glimmering advancement of material comforts. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur has therefore said that the advancement of material knowledge renders a person more foolish because it causes one to forget his real identity by its glimmer. This is doom for him because this human form of life is meant for getting out of material contamination. By the advancement of our material knowledge, people are becoming more and more entangled in material existence. They have no hope of being liberated from this catastrophe. In the Hari Bhakti Sudhodaya, it is stated that Prahlad Maharaj, being a very great devotee of the Lord, prayed to Narsimha Deva, the half lion, half man incarnation as follows: My dear Lord, I repeatedly pray unto your lotus feet that I may simply be stronger in devotional service. I simply pray that my Krishna consciousness may be more strong and steady because happiness derived out of Krishna consciousness and devotional service is so powerful that with it one can have all other perfections of religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, and even the attainment of liberation from material existence. Actually, a pure devotee does not aspire for any of these.
This is a very important. This is a very important point he has made here. That he's saying, I simply pray that my Krishna consciousness, Sunil, listen now, my Krishna consciousness may be more strong and steady because happiness derived from Krishna consciousness and devotional service is so powerful that with it one can have, Hriday, one can have all the other perfection of religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, and even the attainment of liberation from material existence. Yani कि if our devotional service is going on nicely, strongly, you will not have to beg for money in front of anybody. You will not have to put endeavor for anything in life. Everything will come on your way. Everything will come on your way on its own. Okay. Now, Abhyudya, you read from here. Actually, a pure devotee. Abhyudya. Okay. Hemant Prabhu, Himashit.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Read.
Actually, a pure devotee does not aspire after any of these perfections, because the happiness derived from devotional service in Krishna consciousness is so transcendental and so unlimited that no other happiness can compare to it. It is said that even one drop of happiness in Krishna consciousness stands beyond comparison with an ocean of happiness derived from any other activity. Thus, any person who has developed even a little quantity of pure devotional service can very easily kick out all the other kinds of happiness derived from religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. There was a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya known as Kholkavech Sridhar, who was a very poor man. He was doing a small business selling cups made from the leaves of plantain tree, and his income was almost nothing. Still, he was spending 50% of his small income on the worship of the Ganges, and with the other 50% he was somehow living. Lord Chaitanya once revealed himself to this confidential devotee, Klokavech Sridhar, and offered him any opulence he liked. But Sridhar informed the Lord that he did not want any material opulence. He was quite happy in his present position and wanted only to gain unflinching faith and devotion onto the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya. That is the position of pure devotees. If they can be engaged 24 hours each day in devotional service, they do not want anything else, not even the happiness of liberation or of becoming one with the Supreme.
Kholavecha Sridhar. His name was Kholavecha Sridhar. His name was Sridhar, but Kholavecha because he used to sell banana, leaves, cups, and he used to make very little money, but then he still used to spend money in the service. Now I'll read from here. In the Knowledge Mantratra, it is also said that any person who has developed even a small amount of devotional service does not care a fig of any kind of happiness. Small fig, derived from the religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, or the 5 kinds of liberation. Any kind of happiness derived from religiousness, economic development, liberation, or sense gratification cannot even dare to enter into the heart of a pure devotee. It is stated that as the personal attendant and maidservant of a queen, Radha Rani ki jai, follow the queen with all respect and obeisances. Similarly, the joy of religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation follow the devotional service of the Lord. In other words, a pure devotee does not lack any kinds of happiness derived from any source. He does not want anything but service to Krishna. But even if he should have another desire, the Lord fulfills this without the devotees asking. I'm telling you, in my life, it happens. The rareness of pure devotional service. In the preliminary phase of spiritual life, there are different kinds of austerities, penances, and similar process for attaining self-realization. However, even if the executor of the process is without any material desire, he cannot achieve devotional service. And aspiring by oneself alone to achieve devotional service is also not very hopeful. Okay? So because Krishna does not agree to award devotional service to merely anyone, Krishna can easily offer a person material happiness or even liberation. But he does not agree very rarely to award a person engagement in his devotional service. Devotional service can in fact be attained only through the mercy of a pure devotee. In Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 19 chapter 151 verse, it is said, by the mercy of the Supreme Spiritual Master, who is a pure devotee, and by the mercy of Krishna, one can achieve the platform of devotional service. There is no other way. The rarity of devotional service is also confirmed in the Tantra Shastra, where Shiva says to the Sati, my dear Sati, if one is a very fine philosopher analyzing the different processes of your knowledge, he can achieve liberation from the material entanglement by performance of the ritualistic sacrifices recommended in the Vedas. One can be elevated to the platform of pious activities, and thereby enjoy the material comforts of life to the fullest extent. But all such endeavors can hardly offer anyone devotional service to the Lord. Not even if one tries for it by such process for many thousand of births. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is also confirmed by Peral Maharaj that merely by personal efforts or by the instructions of a higher authority, one cannot attain to the stage of devotional service. Not even by the higher authorities' instructions. One must become blessed by the dust of the lotus feet of a pure devotee who is completely free from the contamination of material desires. आज आप किसी के पास भी जाओगे, I was telling him that he wants only disciples. And when people want disciples, they will just take you up with them and round you here and there. शेर का शिकार करने के लिए शिकारी, शिकारी के पीछे उसकी बीवी, and they all are going round and round, right? In the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th chapter, verse 18, Narad Muni also says to Krishna, my dear king, it is Lord Krishna knows as Mukunda, who is the eternal protector of the Pandavas and Yadu. He is also your spiritual master and instructor in every aspect. He is the only worshipable God for you. He is very dear and affectionate. And he is the director of all your activities, both individual and familiar. And that's what's more, he sometimes carries out your orders as if he were your You're my messenger. My dear king, how very fortunate you are, because for others, all these favors given to you by the Supreme Lord would not even be dreamed of. हम लोग को सोच भी सकते हैं. The purpose to this verse is that the Lord easily offers liberation, but He really agrees to offer a soul devotional service. क्योंकि भगवान को खुद आके हम लोगों की सेवा करनी पड़ती है. The happiness of becoming one with the Supreme Lord. Srila Rupa Goswami says that if the Brahman or the happiness become one, Brahman or the happiness of becoming one with the Supreme is multiplied 1 trillion fold, it still cannot compare to the fraction, atomic fraction of the happiness derived from the ocean of devotional service. Right? In Hari Bhakti Vilas, in Hari Bhakti Subodhya, Prahlad Maharaj is saying, while satisfying the Lord Nrsimhadev by his phrase, saying, my dear Lord, the Lord of the universe, I am feeling transcendental pleasure in your presence and have become merged in the ocean of happiness. I now consider the happiness of Brahman to be more than the water in the impression left by a cow's hoof in the earth compared to the ocean of bliss. See, गाय ने अगर पानी में डाल दिया ना, इतना सा पानी होगा ना, it's very easy to cross it. Similarly, it is confirmed in Bhagavata Deepika, Sridhar Swami Maharaj commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. My dear Lord, some of the fortunate persons who are swimming in the ocean of your nectar of devotion and who are relishing the nectar of narration of your pastime certainly knows excesses that immediately minimize the value of the happiness derived from religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. Such a transcendental devotee regards any kind of happiness other than devotion service as no better than straw in the street. Attracting Krishna. Srila Rupa Goswami has stated the devotion service attracts Krishna, even Krishna. Krishna attracts everyone. Krishna attracts everyone, but we can attract Krishna by performing devotion service. But devotion service, it's said like this: devotion service attracts even Krishna. Krishna attracts everyone, but devotion service attracts Krishna. The symbol of devotion service is the highest degree in degree is Radharani. So Krishna is called Madan Mohan, which means he is so attractive that he can even defeat the attraction of the 1,000 of Cupids. But Radharani is Madan Mohan Mohini, still more attractive, for she can even attract Krishna. Therefore, devotee call her Madan Mohan Mohini, the attractor of all attractors of Cupid. To perform devotional service means to follow in the footsteps of Radharani, and devotees in Vrindavan put themselves under the care of Radharani in order to achieve perfection in their devotional service. So we are very fortunate because we are in Vrindavan now, we are in the protection of Radharani. Right? But you are also very fortunate because you're connected to us. Anyways, you're also fortunate because you're living in Vrindavan, your heart is becoming Vrindavan. In other words, devotional service is not an activity of the material world. It is directly under the control of Radharani. So remember that. In Bhagavad Gita, it is confirmed that the Mahatmas or the great souls are under the protection of Daivi Prakriti, Maya, the internal potential energy, Radharani. So being directly under the control of the internal potency of Krishna, devotional service attracts even Krishna himself. This fact is corroborated by Krishna in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 14th chapter, verse 20, where he says, my dear Uddhav, you may know it from me that the attraction I feel for devotional service rendered by my devotees not to be attained even by the performance of mystic yoga, philosophical speculation, ritualistic sacrifices, and study of Vedanta. The practice of severe austerities or giving of everything in charity. These are, of course, very nice activities, but they are not as attractive to me as the transcendental loving service rendered by my devotees. How Krishna becomes attracted by the devotional service of his devotee is described in Narada in Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 10th chapter, verse 48 and 49. Narada addressing King Yudhishthira while the king is appreciating the glories of the character of Prahlad Maharaj. A devotee always appreciates the activities of other devotees. Yudhishthira Maharaj was appreciating the qualities of Prahlad. That is one symptom, Prahlad, that is one symptom of a pure devotee. A pure devotee never thinks himself great. He always thinks that other devotees are greater than him. So Narad Muni is appreciating Prahlad Maharaj, although Prahlad Maharaj was his own disciple in one way. Because when his mother was pregnant, then his mother actually met Narad Muni. And Narad Muni gave her the gyan and said, I'm giving you this knowledge. You be very careful. This child who's actually growing in your womb is going to be a very big devotee of the Lord. Go and live in the ashram because your husband has already left you and gone into, the mountains to pray to Brahma to get the power so that he can defeat Vishnu. So he actually got the knowledge from Prahlad Maharaj. And now Prahlad Maharaj is glorifying Prahlad Maharaj. A pure devotee never thinks himself great. Prabhupada saying that. So the king was thinking, Prahlad Maharaj is actually a devotee of Lord while I am nothing. And while thinking that, he was addressed by Narada as follows: My dear King Yudhishthira, you Pandavas are the only fortunate people in this world. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has appeared on this planet and is presenting himself to you as an ordinary human being. Arjun के साथ सो रहे हैं. When he met Yudhishthir, he paid obeisances. When he met Bhim, he paid obeisances. Arjun, he hugged him. And then Nakul and Sahadev, they came and they touched his feet. So he is always with you in all circumstances. He is living with you and covering himself from the eyes of others. Others cannot understand that he is the Supreme Lord, but he is still living with you as your cousin, as your friend, and even as your messenger. Therefore, you must know that nobody in this world more fortunate than you. In Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna appeared in his universal form, Arjuna prayed, "My dear Krishna, I thought of you as my cousin brother, and so I have shown disrespect to you in so many ways, calling you Krishna, oh friend. But you are so great that I could not understand." So that was the position of the Pandavas. Although Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the greatest among all greats, he remained with those royal brothers, being attracted by their devotion, by their friendship, and by their love. That is the proof of how great this process of devotion service is. It can attract even the Supreme Personality of Godhead is great, but devotional service is greater than God because it attracts him. So Bhagwan कहते हैं ना, people who are not in this devotional service can never understand what great value there is rendering service to the Lord. ये फर्स्ट चैप्टर को जल्दी से खत्म करना था, जरूरी था. हाँ. So Srimad Bhagavatam, Vedabase is ये गए हम लोग श्रीमद् भागवतम पे. थर्ड कैंटो, 29th chapter and the 13th verse. Mataji, this is a shloka, so you can read from here. कि it is clear that state within the pure devotion एक हाँ कि ये जो है ना इधर लिबरेशंस दी हुई है, सालोक्य, शार्षी, सामीप्य, स्वरूप्य, मतलब एकत्व. ठीक है. So here this version is clearly stated that within that a pure devotee does not desire ekatva, any oneness with the Supreme Lord, as desired by the impersonalists, the mental speculators, and the meditators. To become one with the Supreme Lord is beyond the dream of a pure devotee. मतलब भगवान में मर्ज क्यों ना, भगवान का सर्व करते ना भगवान को, that is more much better, right? Sometimes he may accept promotion to the Vaikuntha planet to serve the Lord there, but he will never accept merging into the Brahman, effulgence which he considered worse than hellish. Okay, so what was the question anyway, Shrita Mataji?
Prabhuji, chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita is stating that always the Jivatma is separate and individual from the Paramatma. So in that case, how is Sarubhya Mukti possible? Sayujya Mukti, sorry.
What is Sayujya Mukti for your understanding, according to your understanding?
Sayujya is becoming one with the Lord. There is no difference between the
You know
Jivatma and
this
Paramatma.
ocean. Have you seen the ocean, Mataji?
Prabhuji, sorry?
Have you seen the ocean?
Ocean, yeah.
So what do? You take a drop of ocean directly and take the chemical components of that. Then you take a bucket of same water, bring it home, and take again a drop of water and check the chemical components. The chemical components of the drop or of water or chemical components of the whole ocean, water which is there in the ocean, is the same.
That anyways is same, no Prabhu. Without Mukti also, our Jivatma has all the qualities of Paramatma, but quantitatively less.
Quantitatively less, exactly.
Yeah.
Because in one drop, there may be some germs, but in the whole ocean, whale machlis are there, so many big fishes, so many big animals, creatures, they are there, right? Right?
Yes,
So now, so that's the reason, because Achinta Bheda Bheda Tattva. This is called Achinta Bheda Bheda Tattva. You can be one with the God also, and still you are separate from the Lord.
So my question is it possible to become one with the Lord? That is like, the Jivatma can lose its identity by merging with the Paramatma. Is it possible?
Yeah, it is possible, but you fall down after some time. Like you will merge into the Lord, but you again fall down.
So not in the Brahman effulgence.
This is what again and again.
Sayujya is not in the Brahman effulgence, I think, Prabhuji. It is like, within the Lord himself.
Yeah, Sayujya Mukti, they say in the Sayujya Mukti, being one with the Lord, still like, I think you still have to take birth again to perform a pure devotion. I've heard that in Sayujya Mukti, mostly people, they enter into the Nemitic Leela of the Lord. You know what is Nemitic Leela? Like I've seen, we've heard so many people who saw the deities and they merged into deities, right?
Yes.
They merged into deities and we saw that the deities, like they merged into deities and they're gone.
Yeah.
So, एक है नैमित्य लीला और एक तो नित्य लीला. नित्य लीला means in Golok Vrindavan, Krishna is performing all the Nitya Leela. But what is Naimitic Leela? Naimitic Leela is here. Like suppose Krishna came to this Vrindavan and he had performed this pastime here. Now Krishna is on another planet and there's another planet where we have another Vrindavan where he's performing the pastimes.
Okay.
Right?
Got it.
So when there were so many gopis in the there, there were so many gopis. They heard the flute of Krishna and they left everything and they entered into rasa dance. Right?
Yes.
But some gopis, they couldn't leave. So they have burned their bodies and they took another body. And then they were able to go and perform the Rasa Leela. Okay? Why it happened? Because जिन्होंने भी जितने भी गोपियां थी, whosoever had performed into that Rasa Leela, there were three categories of gopi. First is Nitya Siddha Gopi. Nitya Siddha Gopi is मतलब nobody can be equal to them and we cannot be Nitya Siddha Gopi. ठीक है? Means Radharani, Shamla, right? Remember the other day we were discussing?
Yeah.
Tathastha, Sapaksh and Vipaksh, right?
Yes.
है ना? अब उसके बाद जो थी कुछ गोपियां थी जो कि स्वरूप सिद्ध गोपियां थी, यानी कि मैं बैठा रहा आसन पे और मैंने अपने स्वरूप को सिद्ध कर दिया. कुछ थी जो साधना सिद्ध थी, जिन्होंने बहुत साधना करी, तपस्याएं करी, ठीक है, और कुछ थी कृपा सिद्ध गोपीज, राइट, जिनको कृपा मिल गई. तो दंडकारण्य फॉरेस्ट में when all the sadhus they were performing their pastime, some of the sadhus, they were not able to complete their sadhana. They were not able to complete their bhakti. So when Ramachandra gave them the benediction that you all are coming to dance with me in the Rasa dance, so they all came, but some of them were not able to complete their bhakti. Lord has his own quota. He understands what I have to do. So when nobody had, some of the devotees who were not able to complete their bhakti, they took birth in the Naimitic Leela. Means they took birth in that particular platform, that particular planet where Krishna is performing his pastime. So that is called Naimitic Leela. And when you be a part of that Naimitic Leela, after that only you can enter in Golok Vrindavan. You cannot just go directly to Golok Vrindavan. Are you getting Sita Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
You got now?
Yeah.
So this is a thing. I don't know.
One more doubt I have is, Prabhuji, you were telling, like, people who have karmas and so, like, philanthropic activities is not sublime, right?
Yeah,
Is that
not
what if?
recommended.
Yeah, not
Not recommended
recommended.
in scriptures. Yeah.
Yes.
But
So,
when we go higher, it is
huh.
not mentioned.
But then why Bhishma then had to go through that? Why he has to be in the arrow of beds, because he didn't raise his voice against Draupadi's insult. She has been, that is her karma. Why didn't, it's like, why
No,
should?
actually, when it is mentioned that when he was talking, he said to the Lord that, Lord, I remember 105, 100,
Eight.
what do you call, 100 births of mine. I've
Hmm.
never done something like this, so that I had to be on the bed of the arrows. Then
Come
Lord
again,
said,
Prabhuji. Sorry.
he said, I remember my 100 births,
Huh.
but I remember that in none of my birth I have ever done anything
Hmm.
so sinful that I had to be on the bed of the arrows.
Okay.
Then the Lord said,
Hmm.
you don't remember the 105th birth of yours.
Oh, okay.
You were in that you were playing with the ants, and then you started actually putting
My
the
God.
needle on them, and you were killing one by one after another. The ant with the needle. So that is the reason you have to take birth like that. And of course, Uttanpad. Uttanpad, who was Uttanpad? The father of Dhruv Maharaj.
Rudra
When the Dhruv
Maharaj.
Maharaj was chased away by his stepmother, and Uttanpad remained quiet. So he became what? The participant of that particular sin.
Hmm.
That's the reason he died right
So,
after uh, right after he became a devotee.
so Prabhuji, on account of an adharma that is happening in front of us, should we raise our voice or we should keep quiet?
We should raise our voice in only three conditions.
Hmm.
If it is going to benefit you,
Oh.
if it's going to benefit the other person,
Hmm.
the person who's committing offense, or if it's going to benefit the society. Are you getting your point?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
Either
So,
these people are, see, there's nothing wrong in raising the voice. Of course, we should raise the voice, because if anything sinful happening, we should always speak. You know, if sinful is happening, we should always speak. But here, philanthropic activity has nothing to do with a sinful activity or sinful way of life. You know what I mean?
yeah, yes, yes, Prabhuji.
Philanthropic activities means being very generous.
Hmm.
And being generous means you're trying to be actually the God.
Hmm.
Are you getting my point?
Hmm.
Like, you're not a God. You're actually performing that act, or you're performing that particular act for the pleasure of the Lord. Then it's a different thing.
But the same Lord is stressing upon compassion. So somebody else trouble, if it is like bringing tears to our eyes, what is the wrong in helping?
Let me tell you. You see, Bharat Maharaj did compassion, he got stuck.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Now, on another hand, we have to see, it's very simple. If you don't have compassion, you are not a devotee.
Hmm.
Right? तो कहते ना कि भला करा नहीं 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 भला किया तो आफत आई. एक ऐसे एक फ्रेज मैंने सुना सुनने पहले, अगर मतलब भला करा तो आफत. एक साधु के लिए, साधु के दिल में अगर हृदय में किसी के लिए प्रेम नहीं होगा तो भी वो गया, और अगर साधु के हृदय में किसी के लिए प्रेम होता है तो भी वो गया. So you have to understand there's a root, there's a way to it. How the way is simple. If you're seeing that any animal is in a very petty situation on the main road, you call the doctor. If you have that shamta, call the doctor, call people. They will pick him up and they will take him to the hospital. You pay, hey, listen to me. Whatever will be the expense of taking care of this particular animal, I'm ready to give you. Take this 2,000 rupees, 3,000 rupees from you. Please take care of him. Till then, you're okay. And then you're getting attached. I want to actually open a hospital for the dog, so that any dog which is on the main road, you will be in the situation, in the consciousness of dogs,
Yeah.
and then you will die, and then you will take birth as dog.
Got it.
One Mataji told me today, she's very engrossed in serving cows, and I love cows also. So Mataji was very engrossed in serving cows, and I asked Mataji, why are you getting so much attached to this service? You know what she said? Because my Guru Maharaj said, कि I have bhakti today because I've been serving the cows. बोला माता जी, again I want to go back to Krishna after this birth. That is the reason I'm doing all these services. बोला I also want to see you with Krishna, but not as a Surbi cow, as a Manjari. And then she laughed, She said, no, I'm not very attached to cows. I know you're getting attached to them. Because you are thinking that I am doing, I. So what happened normally when we are performing the philanthropic activity, we become I. The I mentality comes.
The three stages of realization states that the first stage is like the, like the Brahman realization, wherein you get to see all the jivas as like Paramatma, because he is residing in the heart. So you can see Paramatma. So all the living beings, we can, whatever we do to them, it becomes a service. It is service to the Paramatma itself. So in that attitude, if we do also, we will incur sin or what? Their karma,
I'm
sorry.
telling it's all about your consciousness. That you're not getting attached and you're not thinking that you are the person who is actually.
Yes,
it's just a matter of consciousness.
Got it.
Let me help that person. Anybody has any question?
हरे कृष्णा।
Yes, come on.
वो जी, वो एक वहाँ पे आप जाएंगे, उसमें दैट भक्ति रसामृत सिंधु, वहाँ पे एक दो लाइन मेरे को समझ में नहीं आया, दैट रेयरनेस ऑफ स्पिरिचुअल।
कौन सा?
एक मिनट, और दो लाइन था, नहीं इसके ऊपर, एक मिनट, लेट मी सी। हैप्पीनेस, मुझे थोड़ा सा नीचे कीजिए। हैप्पीनेस ऑफ बिकमिंग, इसी में था, हैप्पीनेस ऑफ बिकमिंग वन विथ सुप्रीम, इसमें कुछ।
Srila Rupa Goswami said that if the Brahman or the happiness of becoming one with the Supreme is multiplied 1 trillion fold, it still cannot compare to an atomic fraction of the happiness derived from the ocean of devotional service. ये लाइन थी क्या कमल?
नहीं, ये नहीं, थोड़ा सा नीचे कीजिए, वहां पे एक दो लाइन आया था, बस एंड होने से एक दो पैराग्राफ पहले, वो समझ में नहीं आता मेरे को।
ये the pure devotee never think himself greater than.
नहीं, ये नहीं, ये स्टार्टिंग का ही दो लाइन था, एक पैराग्राफ का स्टार्टिंग का दो लाइन था। थोड़ा सा नीचे करेंगे, मैं देखता हूँ, नहीं तो मैं अपना बुक खोल के देख लूंगा।
To perform devotional service means to follow the footsteps of Radharani.
नहीं, ये नहीं है।
This fact is corroborated by Krishna in 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam.
नहीं, वो प्रभु जी उसके लिए एक पायसनेस का था, उसी इससे थोड़ा सा नीचे जाइए, मैं देखता हूँ इससे कौन सा है।
इस बारे में था वर्ड बताया, कुछ याद है?
याद तो याद नहीं है प्रभु जी, प्रीवियस नहीं इसमें तो नहीं, मैं देख
करना।
हाँ,
आप बुक में बात पढ़ के रखना,
ठीक है,
we will discuss this next time, ठीक है?
ठीक है।
Second chapter is going to be first stage of devotion, very important, very मजा आएगा इस चैप्टर को पढ़ने में, ठीक है? तो we have any other question, Anshu Babbar? Anybody has?
No, प्रभु जी।
ठीक है। अभ्युदया, is a Gurukul boy. He is listening to the classes later. Anyways, any other question? Nobody has any question? So whatever we have studied, whatever we have discussed today, we pray to Srila Rupa Goswami, to all our present acharyas and the acharyas who were present on this planet before. We pray to Haribol, we pray to Radha Shyamsundar, Krishna Balram and Gauratai, and we pray to all the other Devalayas of Vrindavan to actually infuse whatever we have discussed into our heart, so that we can actually imbibe that knowledge and can practically implement in our life and can actually perform the pure devotional service to the Lord. वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यो च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। निताई गौर
हरि हरि बोल,
हरि हरि बोल।
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी,
हरि बोल,
हरे कृष्णा।
Prabhuji, one question out of
हरे कृष्णा। हाँ
the context.
प्रभु जी मिल गया, वो लाइन मिल गया मेरे को।
हाँ,
वो दी रेयरनेस ऑफ प्योर डिवोशनल,
हाँ,
रेयरनेस ऑफ प्योर डिवोशनल सर्विस, उसमें फर्स्ट दो लाइन था, इन द प्रिलिमिनरी फेज ऑफ स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ देयर आर डिफरेंट काइंड्स ऑफ austerities, penances and similar process of attaining self realization. उसके बाद आता है कि however even if an executor of this process is without any material desire, he still cannot achieve devotional service. तो ये समझ में नहीं आता.
Yeah, can we discuss in next class?
Okay, Guruji. Yes.
This particular class you copy paste it and put it in our group, and maybe I'll speak on it and I'll give you the answer.
Okay, Guruji.
ठीक है? Ashita
Okay.
Mataji, you had a question.
Prabhuji, the Narasimha Kavacha Stotra, so in that, who is actually narrating that? Vakshyami is coming. Vakshya means I shall explain. So Narasimha Kavacham Vakshe Prahladeno Tampura. So Prahlada it has come out from the mouth of Prahlada, but somebody is explaining it. Who is it?
Yes, it's a Brahmand.
Brahmanda Purana.
Brahmanda Narasimha Kavacha.
Yeah.
ब्रह्मांड नरसिंह कवचम वक्षय प्रहलादेनोदितं पुरा सर्वरक्षकरं पुण्यं सर्वोपद्रवनाशनम्. So this is actually written by I shall now recite the Narasimha Kavacha, formerly spoken by Brahma. This is the Brahmanda Purane Vedadokadam Narasimha Kavacham Sampurnam.
So who is that reciting again? Somebody is explaining.
In the Brahmanda Purana. I'll find out, Mataji, and let you know.
Yes, Prabhuji, please, because one student asked me, and then I didn't have answer.
हाँ ठीक है. Brahmanda Purana, वैसे Brahmanda Purana is like mostly written by Brahma only. So it can be possible that Brahma is singing the glories of Prahlad Maharaj, right? But still, I'll figure it out and let you know.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. वृश्चिक और संभुता विषय पर क्रिस स्टूडेंट्स इतने अच्छे हैं ना, देखते बड़ा मजा आता है.